Even though I was clowning Tubi, not for nothing, Tubi is actually doing a thing a little
Yeah, that's
bit
what I was saying. Yeah, you
because
can't really hate on
they,
Tubi anymore.
well, yes, I can, but you can always hate on Tubi.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. It's your boy DJ Benhameen, aka Cal L. Bundy, Halal Jordan, the Midday Walker, Doc Pilgrim, De La Troll, here in the spaceship tonight.
Midday Walker. Okay.
I really like that. I came up with that one, them real life bars you got to deal with when I was on one of my morning walks the other day. I was like, come on, man. Midday Walker. Like,
nah, I like it.
It's right there. Yes. And as always, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Gucci Mandalorian, Flex Luthor, Glorilla Grodd, Fax the Destroyer, Doc Aki, Tesseract Thompson, and Tatiana Kang, the Conqueror.
Glorilla Grodd would be a great t-shirt if not for racism.
Yeah, we can't. We won't be able to. I don't think that one's going to fly.
It's just purely because of racism, too. Like, if we didn't live in a racist world, we could do that, no problem. But because we live in a racist world, that shit is not.
We have to live in the Fantastic Four universe.
Yeah.
For that to work. Whatever Earth they're on, where there's no such thing as racism or any isms whatsoever.
You can just call a black person an ape and nobody thinks twice about it. It's just like, oh, or like, because that's just their animal form. Their animal form could be an ape.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, is there any cartoons where it's like a black, like an ape talking with a black voice? Like Glorilla, Glorilla Grodd. He already talks pretty blackish. Let's be for real.
Stop.
Look, watch JLU.
We're not going down this rabbit hole.
You made that whole video about Lex Luthor being black, and the real truth is that Grodd.
No, we're not doing this.
The real truth is that Grodd is a black man.
Oh my God.
Respect them. It's just because of racism that we can't admit this. Again, there it is. If it wasn't for racism, we could admit that Gorilla Grodd is Gorilla. Yeah. It's so hard to say because I want to say
Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on. But speaking of DC, this is For All Nerds Show. It is, we got to talk about one thing. It's the end of summer. You know what I mean? Thank you to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good summer, end of summer, all that. Coming into the fall. I'm not really feeling that. It is what it is, though, I guess. Right?
These pumpkin spice latte niggas need to calm down, okay?
Basically.
Let the summer officially end. The summer is not officially over till September, 21st, 22nd, something like that. Let it rock. Let it ride.
Yes.
Please, because y'all get on my nerves. The people who are all, I want to wear your winter, your layers and Halloween, please go away. Not yet. Your time is coming, but not yet.
Yeah, and I love me some Halloween. I love all that. I love the layers. I love getting fly, but, I do want a little bit of summer. It has been a beautiful summer. And real quick, again, shout out to the Dallas Penn Foundation and everyone who came through for the Dallas Penn Family Day this weekend. It was an amazing event. Shout out to Dallas Penn Forever. Make sure you follow that account on Instagram for more information. And yeah, just, man, it was really beautiful. It was always beautiful and sad,
Yeah.
It's always
melancholy.
Yeah, melancholy, I guess is the word. But it didn't feel melancholy that day, There were moments of melancholy, but overall it felt very joyous that day. Definitely.
Celebration of life.
Yeah, definitely a celebration of life. But it just always reminds you that, these people are not with us in the physical, but we keep their memory and their energy alive, and in different ways they still are with us. So it was definitely a very beautiful day. I actually got to DJ for Smith & Wesson, and that was a moment for me as someone who pretty much grew up on their music. It was really like, wow, look at me, look at Benhameen over here DJing for Smith & Wesson.
So, your younger self would be proud of you.
Super proud, super blown away. They were actually the first people I ever interviewed back when I was in high school too.
Look at that full circle moment.
Full circle. I told him about it. He did not remember. Nor did I expect him.
Why would they?
Yeah. But like my sister and one of my good friends, Javetta, they're still cool with Evil D, the producer of the Beat Miners and Black Moon and Smith & Wesson and everybody else. So, Still goes on.
Well, rest in power to Dallas Penn always.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, man. It's been a really good summer. I've been doing all kind of stuff. Shout out to Jim Search. I went out to his hip hop trivia event this week. I went out to the New Yorkers. That shit was so ritzy, yo.
What was Ritzy?
Sorry. It was the New Yorker magazine. They put on an event last night at Joe's Pub in Manhattan, and it was basically four writers from the New Yorker came up and told a story, each of them. And I went because friend of the show and friend of ours, Juno Diaz, was there and doing a speech and doing one of the stories. And so I went to see him and, hung out with him. But oh my God, man. I mean, I should have expected it. Like, I grew up reading the New Yorker magazine. It's definitely one of my favorite magazines,
Oh
but
yeah,
you
that
already
crowd.
know. I
That's a
mean,
very
yeah,
Upper West
Upper
Side,
East Side. You
Upper West Side crowd.
yeah, you
Yeah,
already
it's
know.
kind of like that crowd when we went to see
Yes.
your
Yep.
boy.
Yes, definitely. Gilroy, when we went to see Gilroy for Andor, the
Yeah,
exact same type of crowd. Yes. A lot of money in that place last night. A
Tony
lot of
Gilroy.
money. Yes, Tony Gilroy. A lot of money in that place last night. It was very good to see Mr. Diaz, but beyond that, yeah, no. Ugh. The rest of the writers were really dope, though, too. It was a really dope event, but just the
Yeah,
crowd. Yuck.
yeah. Well, there's a better event. I think that's going to be attended by not so ritzy people. That's coming up. The What the Film live show.
I
The
keep wanting to say
WTF.
I would keep wanting to,
Yeah,
it's
that's why.
it's
That's why I had to
it's not
pause a
like
little bit.
it's not WTFF.
It's WTF. It stands for What the Film.
What the film?
Yeah.
Okay, there we
So
go.
for those who have been listening to our most recent shows, or even if you haven't, friend of the show, Brandon Collins he always comes on the show on a regular basis, but he has a
Mm-hmm.
new show that he announced. He does the Drunk Black History shows. We've been on those shows a few times as well. But his
Yep.
new live show, What the Film, is basically him and friends just talking about like the beautiful disasters in cinema. I know that this show is going to be about 90s movies,
Mm.
and your two favorite hosts, Tatiana and Benhameen, will be there this Thursday, September 4th at 7:30 p.m. at Littlefield in Brooklyn.
Mm.
And we can't tell you what we're gonna
No.
review, I should say. It should be a surprise, but
Yeah.
we have a good movie to review and talk about. So
A great movie.
yeah, you guys will be in on the fun. So if you can make it, please do. I know the tickets are still on sale. They're not that expensive. I think it's like $15 if that.
Mm.
So yeah, or 20. Sorry. I'm looking at oops. Sorry guys, it's 20 now. You missed out on the early bird. But I know it goes up to like 25 the day of the show. So anyway, make sure that if you are in town, please come see us. And if you miss it, that's okay. I know you probably see some videos or pictures from there, but it's better to be there live. So again, the What the Film show starring Brandon Collins, featuring amazing guests, including ourselves, Tatiana King and DJ Benhameen of ForAllNerds. We will be there.
Yes, we will be. And I'm really excited for that, actually. I really wish we could let people know what movie we're going to talk about. I'm about to rewatch it again. It's definitely one of my favorites and a classic. And I'll just give one hint, right? It's a sci-fi classic. I'll say that.
They're gonna know immediately. You say
Nah,
that.
man, it's 90s. There's so many. There's so many great ones. So many great ones. It could be Galaxy Quest, right? That's 90s, wasn't it?
I don't remember. But anyway,
You've seen Galaxy Quest, right?
yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't know if that was anyway. The point
That's not
is
a classic.
it's gonna be a great it's not. That's what I was like.
I mean, it's close. It's pretty close. Some people would consider it one. I wouldn't. Some people would. It had a lot of greatness in it. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to my man's from Harry Potter, and also from Die Hard, of course. But
Alan
yeah.
Rickman.
Yes.
Oh, who plays Snape?
Yep, he was also in Galaxy Quest and amazing in it. Yeah, Snape. I was that was right on tip of my tongue. But yeah, rest in peace to Alan Rickman. The fucking God. Yeah. So, okay, it's not Galaxy Quest though. We will be talking.
See you guys September 4th.
Yeah, see you there. And this was really surprising, this news. I really was surprised by this today.
News.
James Gunn announced that Superman 2, which isn't titled Superman 2, is just titled Man of Tomorrow, which is one of Superman's many AKAs. He's known as the Man of Tomorrow, the last son of Krypton. It's the Dark Knight and what's Superman's one like that? Because it's like Dark Knight and something Sun. I can't remember.
Bright Day. I don't know.
It's something like that. Yeah, but he's got a few other ones. But Man of Tomorrow has always been one of my favorite ones for Superman, and so that's the title of Superman 2. And even more surprising part about it is it's coming 2027 in
Yeah, which
July.
means they're filming that shit right now. Like,
I mean,
they did not wait.
Yeah, but they need to. They need to get on their job, and they haven't. So we'll see. But yeah, it's coming. I know the script's already written because he was already working on that, and so it's coming. Gunn did not announce that he's directing it, but I would assume he is. But I don't know. He also said that Superman is not his like really his bag, and he would like somebody else to take over. So
good. I mean, just so it's a little less Guardians of the Galaxy. No offense.
Yeah, no offense,
but all truth.
Oh.
Just take a little bit of the Guardians out of it. So I wouldn't mind seeing someone else. He still did a great job. Like,
yes.
Again, since enough time has passed for me to sit there, because before the last time we spoke about this, I was on the fence. I like Superman 2025. Right?
I love it.
I liked it. I still think it was too much Guardians. It was too much wackiness, a little bit OD on the wackiness for me, but I understood. So at the end of the day, he's an amazing director, James Gunn. And if he does end up doing it again, I'm sure he'll temper it. My hope is he does. If he doesn't, if it's not him, it's somebody else, I'm open. Like, I just want to, I'm okay because there is a plan now. DC, the DC universe, the DCU has a plan now. It has a captain. James Gunn is the captain now. And now that they have direction and instruction, I expect much better results than what we've been seeing. And we've already seen really good results.
Yeah. I actually dropped a video today on Instagram, TikTok, all the rest of our ForAllNerds social media talking about that. Because actually one of our Guac questions from a few months back when it dropped asked us what we thought of Creature Commandos. And I had not had a second to watch it yet. And this weekend, I was like, let me finally catch this. Because I've really been feeling the, new DCU. And I'm like, this is a part of it. So let me at least give it a watch. And I'm like, James Gunn, we know. He knows how to tell a story. He knows how to pull on emotional heartstrings when he wants to. But I will really commend him for the format of these 22-minute stories and how each one focuses on a different member of the Creature Commandos. And again, something I talked about in the video, the tonal differences in the projects that DCU has presented so far and what they're talking about coming down the pike. Because so far we've had Superman, which is a straight up, pretty much family friendly, adventure, other than, like harem and occasional murder. But beyond that, it's very family friendly, very not kid, but just family oriented.
Yeah.
Then you have Creature Commandos, which is an animated series, which you would think, okay, animated. And no, it is full on. There's a lot of sex. There is hella violence. It's hella emotional. And it's also about a group of monsters. And it never shies away from the fact that these are all monsters. And it's not even that Guardians of the Galaxy monsters where they'll be redeemed into heroes. They might be redeemed into heroes, but they'll still be monsters at the end of this, as far as I can tell, because they're pretty monstrous, and I've only got 2 episodes left. And then we have Peacemaker, which is, just all over the place. I'm loving season 2. But orgies, straight up and down orgies like that. Like I said, from golly to orgies, it is a wide difference in Superman and Peacemaker. And I just feel like we still have not seen that difference from Marvel. They'll attempt to like do little jumps at it, like Werewolf by Night or the upcoming Marvel Zombies, which has a lot of violence and a lot of cursing. But I don't feel like they're going to get near as far as like something like Creature Commandos does, where it's the violence, the sex. It is not done in a way where, it's just like where Marvel Zombies so far is just the gore effect. It's just like, oh, let's see what these heroes look like when they kill each other.
Yeah,
that's not Creature Commandos. Yeah.
I thought about that just to jump on. Like, I don't know if MCU can do that. At the end of the day, the MCU is Disney now.
Well, okay.
Marvel is under Disney's wing. It's under Disney's direction at the end of the day. And it's very much focused to gathering as the middle of the road, as many people as possible. Not to say that there cannot be edgy things, like as we have seen in things like the Watcher, excuse me, the animated series on Disney Plus featuring like the Watcher. Like we've seen some of the edgy things. You mentioned the zombies, but like tonally, to your point, it's kind of all the same. Like there isn't anything that's except for maybe animation, right? Where it's kind of outside the overall bubble of the MCU of the films. But other than that, like I don't, at least as things are currently blueprinted, I don't see them going completely left field like they can do with DC. Like one of the benefits of DC just being I didn't want to say having, just being a dumpster fire, but if DC being a dumpster fire is they kind of come out of the fire like a phoenix and get to be anew, right? And also the thing about DC, at least for me, I've always seen DC as more dark. Like even from the comics perspective, I always just saw it as, well, first one, a lot of the characters, they many of them godlike. They're not necessarily humans, but also gods are fallible, right? So you got to see a lot of that weird, as you mentioned, the orgies or people cussing and going and carrying on and violence, right? Not to say that it didn't happen for the MCU, but it's just much more sanitized. Like again, I just feel like it's only been the animation. Like back in the day, the Iron Man animation, the man was a drunk. And they didn't shy away from that, right? And he was a terrible person. And like they really like, even as a child, like they didn't shy away from that. Whereas that's kind of glossed over when it translated to live action. So as far as can they make tonal shifts, I don't know if they're even allowed to at this point, just because they may be in a box now. And DC doesn't have that box. Like DC could run wild as it's happening now. And just to go back again to how good Gunn is in this short period of time, he completely retconned everything that was in the DCEU with one scene. The Peacemaker the return scene, where at the end when he's coming and you see the silhouettes of what was the Justice League, that's been completely changed to the niggas. The I forgot what they call themselves.
Justice Gang.
The Justice Gang. Complete. And that was like, and with that, like literally with the snap, it's like, okay, this is new. This is how the direction we're going to. And to your point, there's no questions or there's no pushback from anybody because the tones match the character. Peacemaker is supposed to be fucked up. He's a fucked up dude. He does fucked up things. So there's going to be some very adult situations.
Yep.
Versus what they're trying to do with Superman, where it's, if you're going back to his roots, if you're going back to the deepness of his particular character about humanity, it's going to be more family friendly and a little bit more goofy. Yes, got it. There's going to be in between. Whereas with MCU, I'm just like, well, what characters do they have that they're going to actually put on screen that they're going to be different with? Besides maybe the street level people like Daredevil. Daredevil's is probably the most violent, the most in terms of Daredevil.
Daredevil was
Punisher.
fucking.
Daredevil, Punisher.
I was trying to remember, has the MCU where he just has straight up fucking, and Daredevil was fucking.
He did a little. I mean, he was with Homegirl.
Yeah, She-Hulk was fucking. She-Hulk was fucking.
Right.
But no, Daredevil was fucking on his own series. Daredevil, remember, because he was with Night Nurse. He had a few. He had My Girl, you know what I mean?
He had a few, but and not just that. Like I said, the adult situations you talk about, like the closest we've gotten was all the street level heroes.
Yeah.
And Daredevil's kind of the one that he's up there right now. He's the only one right now, and it's like, what else do they got? Everything else they're so worried about bringing in
season?
The kids. I'm sure he is.
No. In the first season, that's what I'm saying. In the new first season, I don't remember him smashing.
Yeah, he was smashing his girl.
That's right. He was. No, you're right. Yep, he was still getting. Okay, so they still. All right, so they still. That's what I'm saying. They still got the opportunity, and that's
they have the opportunity, but in what way?
And I don't think. Whenever people say it's Disney, I don't think that really holds weight, because if you look on Disney Plus, there is all, everything. It's not like Disney, they have different tiers or whatever, different studios that make different films that will, be this.
Like
now,
what?
Like I can't tell you, because they have a lot of like Searchlight. I'm not sure what of those studios are Disney. There's a lot of little smaller studios that you hear about, like, where it's like what's his name? B plus Brad Pitt shit is under someone else. Disney has multiple. I can't remember if it's Searchlight. It's one of them joints like that where you're like, oh shit, that's Disney. and it's R-rated down the line. You know what I mean? That's how they do it, so that people don't know it's Disney. So to say that Disney won't do it, I don't think so. And remember, Marvel was sanitizing Tony before Disney became part of it.
Well, I guess that's what my point is. Like,
yeah,
sure, you're right, but now that's already in the history, and then here comes Disney's like, you got to make money with this. We got to grab all the kids again.
Yeah,
they've done it in some respect, but I just feel like the door is more open when it comes to DC.
No, I definitely do that too, and especially because someone like James Gunn, who comes from he comes from Trauma Films, which is a very shot value type thing. So he's grown with that though, and that's something what I really like about him as a filmmaker, where he's grown and knows how to put that shot value, but still knows how to get the families in the seats. And then, like you said, to expand on that, they're already doing it. They have Superman. Then next year they have Supergirl, which while it's going to be Superman-esque, Supergirl's to be very different than Superman.
Be very different than that.
And people are going to be very unexpectedly shocked probably when they go and see it. And then
she on that Molly.
All that. And then they have like Peacemaker. I mean, not Peacemaker. They have Clayface coming out in next year, which is supposed to be some body horror type shit. So they're already, trying to do a lot of different things. And yeah, I said in my video, but I'm more excited for them right now than I am for Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 20 years. Look at the change in 20 years. Look how long it took to get here.
It was a good run, Marvel, but I mean, maybe but I'm not excited about the director of the X-Men. So it's just like,
are you still not excited? I mean, are you still excited about Doom? Ooh, not that pause.
No, I don't think they've given it enough time, and I'm not 100% as belief in the Russos, and only one of the writers from the writing team that made everything right is coming back for this. Now, is he the good one? Let's hope so. But I also think it's a great team, and don't mess up the team. So
is he the good son? That's all I heard.
Yeah. Like I'm, hopefully he ain't the one that got dropped off the cliff.
Drop off the bridge.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I did not see that movie till I was an adult, so I cried when that nigga dropped, because I was like, "Yo, this is so hilarious." They dropped Macaulay, like
he deserved it.
He did. He was a monster, but it was still the fact that they dropped his ass. Like I'm like, yo, if I'd seen this as a kid, I would have lost it. Like coming out of Home Alone and then watching that, I would have lost it. I would have not been able to handle it.
But see, also as a kid, you don't realize it's the same person.
No, I knew actors.
Macaulay. I would have noticed that it was the same person.
No, because I remember
because he looked different.
I was just enough of a kid where like I was probably like Macaulay's age or a little younger, but I knew him. He was in Uncle Buck. So I was already, remember, I'm a kid who loves movies. So, I'm like, I'm like, oh, that little fuck from Uncle Buck. Because he was funny as hell in Uncle Buck. And then he got Home Alone and blew the hell up.
I don't know what Uncle Buck is.
Oh, man, he's funny as hell in Uncle Buck. He's
my Macaulay history starts with Home Alone.
Alone, yeah. He was in Uncle Buck. And I'm not sure what else before that. But I knew him in Uncle Buck because he curses. And, I was a little kid. And so this little kid cursing, it was like, it was great. Macaulay's so cute and him cursing was hilarious. So.
Yeah. But just the one other thing about that announcement from James Gunn, it was accompanied by a teaser image.
Yes.
The cartoon or anime.
Jim Lee. It's cartoon. It's comic book. It's Jim Lee.
The comic book image, I should say, of Lex in his war suit with Soups right next to him. And obviously that means that it's gonna be more of Lex. And you know how I feel about Lex. I didn't hate my man's in the Superman 2025 film as Lex.
I love him.
I thought he was cool. Again, I thought they just did a little bit too much like angry, evil Jeff Bezos, eviler Jeff Bezos versus just, Lex. And I would just like to see more of like the intrinsic nature to why Lex does not fuck with Soups. Like, because it still was giving I'm just jealous. And not to say that can't be.
That is part of it.
That's part of it. And that's my point. It's only part. It's not the full extent of this man's hate. So
yeah,
I just want to see more.
It's not the full extent, but it is like the biggest part of it. Because that's the thing. It's like he disguises his jealousy with a lot of bullshit about why he hates him. Because one of his big things that he says is Superman is keeping back the human race by being there. And that's bullshit. And then the other one he tries to say is,
why is that bullshit? He feels like because people are becoming reliant on him. Why is that bullshit?
Nigga, because this nigga's only one nigga. He can't be everywhere.
One nigga that's been stopping wars and stepping in and making decisions on his own.
Okay,
unilaterally.
What? All right. But for the good of Earth, right?
That's what we believe, but does Lex believe that?
Yeah, and that's the problem. And that's the other and that's the other thing that Lex spits at some nonsense is
Lex feels we're the humans, let us handle our own shit.
And the other thing he says is if it was up to me, I could save the world if you weren't here.
Which he did in was it Red Sun? Which he was it?
No, he doesn't really do that.
There was a story where Lex basically makes a utopia
only through the help of Superman. That's Red Sun. It's still only through the help of Superman.
But it was
Lex. It's that's the problem. It's his ass is jealous of this nigga, and instead of just being like, yo, we could work together and do great things, this nigga's a hater. And that is Lex's biggest problem, is being a hater. Like, I always love the old school Superman where it's I'm not sure if it's exposure to kryptonite, but it's something that makes Lex go bald as a teenager, and that's why he hates this nigga.
That was in Smallville. Wasn't that in Smallville?
Yeah,
like
that goes back to the old school comics when they grew up together, and in high school something happens and it makes Lex go bald. And that's why he hates him, because he has like bright red hair, and I just always found that hilarious.
But I just cannot let everything boil down to this nigga's a jealous nigga.
But it is.
I'm sorry, that's it. He never came off like that to me. Because we talked about Superman the animated series.
But it's slickness. But that's what I'm saying. It's a nigga who he's good at being charismatic and telling you a story. You know, and that's true. Him. He's telling you the story. Oh, look at this alien. If not for him, but it's like, nigga, you still here. And that's what Superman says to him over and over again. I'm here and you're here. What are you doing but hating on me? How I'm over here helping and you're just hating.
So still, it cannot just be that, because then and this is the reason why, because it's going to get boring. It's going to be boring fast. That it's just every Superman movie, there's just this nigga that's hating.
Well, see, that's the thing about that image.
Like
but see, that's the thing about that.
Every new film that we go in 2027 is going to be, oh, I'm a hater. No, in 2029, oh, I'm a hater. Like that's
Gunn knows like that's shit. Not. Gunn knows that won't work, and that's the thing about that image.
And that's all I'm saying.
But look at that.
Just be about hate.
No, I'm saying, and look at the image. It's not just Lex in his war suit. It's Superman leaning against Lex, looking at him like, whatever, nigga.
Which happens also in the animated, again, the WB animated series, where it was like the rivalry, basically. Like, it was on some Gary Ketchum shit, where it's like, I don't really like you like that, nigga, but you know, I'll tolerate you when I need to.
And it also happens in your favorite Red Sun when Brainiac Dum Dums comes through.
Yes.
And that's what people are there's a lot of speculation that Brainiac is the villain of Man of Tomorrow, because when you speak about the tomorrow, you're speaking about the future, and that's Brainiac's territory. Yeah. So
shout out to a friend of the show, Seven. Shout out Seven, who said that's the young kid who gave his take. You know, he had some really good takes on Superman and everything else, but he mentioned that he felt that Brainiac should be the villain.
It definitely. I mean, Brainiac's the villain of Red Sun. Brainiac is part of the villain of All-Star Superman. So yeah, Brainiac's one of my favorite Superman villains, and one of the illest, and one of the most terrifying too. That's what I really like about Brainiac. Brainiac is terrifying when they do him as the completely computer intelligence, where he just has no feeling and no thought process that's anything like ours. Yeah. And then with all the AI talk going on today, I think Brainiac's like a perfect villain right now.
It makes sense. I mean, besides Lex, Brainiac had Superman villains have been my favorite, have been him and Darkseid.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Those are my two faves.
Who else? I love Mr. Mitzelblick. I cannot lie.
Mr. Blick was cool.
I love him. He's just so ill. Cool. I mean, that's supposed to be him in the background of Superman 2025.
Where?
When he's talking to Lois and the Justice Gang is in the background battling this energy thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it might be Mitzelblick, because he says it's an interdimensional imp, and that's what Mr. Blick is.
Facts.
Mitzelblick is. Yeah, he is and you're not, and he doesn't look like the little old man. That's not what he really looks like. So what he really looks like is something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it if that's true.
Okay. So Yeah. I was going to make a joke on Threads the other day that JD Vance said his name backwards. He probably vanishes.
I wish she would. She would do something with herself.
That's all
Go
it
fuck a
takes.
couch.
That's all it takes. I promise you. If they just get him to say his name backwards, he'll vanish to the fifth dimension.
Oh my God.
He's just a little interdimensional imp. We got some reviews. Which one you want to start off with?
Well, let me get this out the way before I start crying. So, I saw The Long Walk a few weeks ago, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it rather early, and I wish I'd never seen it. And let me be clear.
Yeah.
Not because it's a bad movie. It's actually incredible.
Yep.
It's extremely well done. It is an adaptation of the Stephen King novel of the same name. I never read the book, but after the film, I did like read through like excerpts of the book and try to match up with a lot of the scenes that I saw.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually written. Stephen King did write it, but he wrote it under his pen name Richard Bachman.
Okay.
At a point when he was trying to see if he could sell books without being Stephen King.
Yeah.
And it still sold pretty well, from what I understand. I read it
because it's incredible.
Yeah, I read it when I was a kid, like not a kid, but very young. And it's so when we got the offer to see the film, I told Tatiana, ain't no way, because I already know.
Yeah.
Like The Long Walk and the Running Man book, and they're doing the Running Man film later on this year, are two of those Stephen King stories that ruined me. And so I had no desire to see this movie. But yeah.
And as mentioned, I really wish I didn't see it, only because like I wish I had known ahead of time and prepped myself by at least knowing what the book was about. The problem was like I was intrigued by the premise of the film, of the trailers.
That's what happened to me as a kid.
When I saw the book. The trailers, I was like, oh, this shit wild. And I'm thinking it's just like level 6 wild, right? No, this is level 235 of the level of wild that it could ever be.
Yeah.
And the book is already brutal and messed up. And the film, it's different, as everyone knows, when you're reading a book, especially books that dictate things that are happening, you're making pictures in your mind. You are, especially if you're very illustrative when it comes to your imagination as you read, you're going to see what you're going to see, but it's probably still not going to be as fucked up as what someone else thinks the imagery of that scene should be, right? Especially someone that's already twisted, which is why I think the director, Francis, I think he's a little twisted, because the way he interpreted certain scenes in that book was just beyond the pale when it comes to the level of violence that I expected. Like I thought I knew, but I didn't know. And the trailers for those who were, are like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. The trailers do not give how big of a deal it really is. And it's probably more so why my reaction has been so outsized, is because they're not children, but they're young men. These aren't like grown old ass men that had their whole life and they at the end of their time. These are young men. They
can't be 18, right? That's one of the rules at a Long Walk.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's was still the case, but the fact is they're young.
Because one of them lies to get in because he's
one
older.
of them lies to get in. Yeah. But again, they changed some stuff in the film, so it might be a little different in the film than in the book. But the point is, these is young men with their lives fully ahead of them. And as mentioned, there are some who are maybe younger than they appear. And you see some things. You see some horrifying, terrifying things. And it's not scary in the sense of, jump scares or anything like that. Even though there are a couple, which is just again ruined me, as you say. It's more psychological horror, psychological trauma. And as I mentioned in my quick social review, you have to be very careful with this film. If you have some stuff going on in your life right now that you want to keep your peace, I would not say to go watch this. Again, it's an incredible, good film. It's well directed. The ensemble cast, and hopefully we'll get to actually interview some of them, but the ensemble cast, they do an incredible job with each other, because it's a lot of dialogue as well. It's dialogue heavy, and it has to be because it's literally a movie about people walking for hundreds of miles, and you're just with them walking. There's, besides the stuff that happens to them, there's no other like main point of action. So it requires good synergy between the actors. It requires them to befriend each other. It requires you to believe that befriending, and it works. I will say that there are some characters where you don't really get. And I don't know if that's just you didn't have the time to or what, or just maybe the way that they were interpreted. You don't get to see, they're more like sketches of fully characters versus, you know, you get the real history behind them, like what their motives are, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, you'll have the person who is the evil one, quote, quote. You have the person who is the kid, quote. Like they some of them are more like archetypes as opposed to fully fleshed characters. And again, I don't know if that's just didn't have the time for that or is just the way it was written.
It's a lot of characters.
It's a lot, but they only really focus on like maybe 5 or 6 people.
That's the thing. I mean, shit, 5 or 6 is a lot for a film to carry. So
yeah, well, you know what? We've seen it done before in TV shows with less time. So
no, see, TV shows are more time. Remember that TV shows are going to be episodic. You're going to have a lot of time.
No. I'm talking about in one episode. What I'm saying is,
okay, we're saying
this ain't the way it's written about how some of the characterizations are.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
They're also, you know, again, a TV show's a different audience. A film, you know, it's a big screen. You're gonna have to get to the point, you know, and then like, you know, get to the shootings.
So as mentioned,
because them bullets do hurt.
It's horrific. Some of this, the ways that these kids go out. Yeah, at times.
For those that don't, the quick premise of the thing is that it's a alternate future type thing where it's a game show. People can enter. There's a prize, and the game or contest is you must walk. And if you dip below 4 miles, that's the book. 4 miles per hour. It's 3 miles per hour.
It's 3 miles per hour.
In 3 miles per hour in the film. You get a warning, and on your third warning, you were shot by people who are driving alongside as the boys walk.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And all of this is direct from the trailer, so we're not telling you anything that's not been expressed.
You need to know this before you go in if you're deciding to see this film.
And you see that it's like it's militarized, right? Like the people who are driving alongside them are military people. So and these are just regular kids. And again, just imagine you're just walking.
Yeah.
You're just walking for hundreds and hundreds of miles until it's the last man standing.
Yep.
So again, I thought, you know, from the premise alone, I was like, oh, that's tough. But oh, like, how bad could it be?
And I told you, I was like, well, it's one of the most horrifying books I've ever read.
It's, man, again, I well done film. I will never see it again.
Yeah, I've told people about this. Like, I'm a huge Stephen King fan, but when you talk about books that ruined me as a child, several of his are on there. And The Long Walk, The Running Man, and The Mist are all up in there. Like, I'll never forget sitting in class, this is elementary school, and I'm reading The Mist, and at one point they're driving, and I lift my head up from the book, and I felt the car, like, going away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I was driving with them. That's how in this fucking book I was. That's, you know, like, I felt the motion of the car. I'm sitting in my desk at school, but I felt the motion of the car. So when you talk about, like, so that's why when, you know, it's like, yeah, this director might have it, but I knew from childhood that The Long Walk was something I never needed to read or see again. So
yeah. And again, it's extremely graphic.
Yeah.
The things that you watch these kids endure is like, you would never think that they would force you to watch it. Like, a lot of times, especially in films, they'll cut away, like, or they'll tease something, or they'll do silhouettes or shadows or whatever. No, they show you.
Yep.
You see the stuff happening. You just see it all. And I just it's burned in my brain forever.
Yeah, no, I'm so good. Like I say, they're doing an adaptation of The Running Man later this year, and even from the trailer, it seems that they're going closer to the book than the original Running Man film with that starred Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was completely different from the book. And so just the idea of them getting close to the book started, like, those hairs on the back of my neck started standing up because it's just like, oh God, because that book is one of those books that I just regret reading. Most Stephen King books that I read as a child, I regret reading. Like, seriously, just like you regret seeing that
As you
film.
should, because you shouldn't be reading Stephen King as a child.
This is probably true. This is probably true. Yeah.
Another thing, this film obviously is not for children.
Fuck no.
And it's barely for adults because certain adults will not be able to have the mental capacity to really process this. I as mentioned, just be very careful. If you know yourself, or I should say, know yourself, get to learn yourself. And if you cannot process that type of brutality and graphic nature of what kind of mirrors was going on today, then you might want to you might want to take a pass, or at least be prepared to take breaks if you can. Because I assume this is not going to be in theaters for that long, considering they keep pulling stuff so fast nowadays.
Yeah.
So if you end up watching this at home, like on streaming, when it eventually comes to streaming, take some breaks if you need to.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it because, like I said, I've read it and I just knew, and I knew that they were sticking way too close to the book. And then Tatiana's told me the whole thing, and so I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty much.
I read it against the book, and then I just remember when I saw it, I was like, huh, they actually did that. Go ahead.
Do they do the whole diarrhea incident?
And for fans of the book, I'm not going to answer that. As for fans, because I don't want to give nothing away, but for fans,
that means they did.
For fans of the book, if you're worried about them watering it down, no, they turned it up. They turned it up. Like that was one of the other things that I saw floating around. People were just, because I looked around to see what the internet was talking about when they thought about the law. They was like, oh, I hope that they didn't, sanitize this. No, it's dirty as fuck.
Yeah, I believe
nothing sanitized about it.
I mean, it's hard not to be. It's just such a, because like you say, it sounds like, that's the thing, I'm like 10, 11, maybe 12, and somebody's like, oh, check out this. And I'm like, oh, The Long Walk. And they read it. And they're like, yo, this and this happens. I'm like, oh, word. And I'm like, that's an ill premise.
No, that's an innocence killer. They should not have told you to read
that. And it was.
They should not have told you to read that.
Yeah, because, and I just thought, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then and that's how Stephen King gets you. And it's like, he's such a great writer and such a great storyteller. Oh, man, he has this one about not time travel, about teleportation. And it's a very short story. It might be 20-some pages. And
was that one when the person got like ripped apart?
No,
like the body parts or something like that.
No, it ends with somebody tearing their eyes out though, so it's pretty bad. But
that's the body part.
Yeah, it was basically a story about how mankind invents teleportation, and when they teleport, there's like 1 point something seconds that they can't account for because you have to go through a portal. That's how they do it. And anyone who sees what's in that portal goes insane. And so to counteract that, they make people take sleeping gas. It's like a plane. Like, everybody gets on the plane, everybody gets taking sleeping gas, and then they push the plane through the portal and you teleport, no problem. And the whole story is about this man telling his son about, the whole history of it, how they figured out the portals, how they kept sending people through and they were going insane. They sent animals, nothing worked. And then they figured out if you were to sleep, you were fine, boom, boom, boom. And now we have worldwide teleportation. And so then they go through the portal, and the fucking kid, because he heard this story, wants to see what was out there. And he held his breath during the sleeping gas.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes insane and comes out, and they're like, the kid looks like a 90-year-old man. His hair is all white, all kind of shit. And then he's like, I saw that. And he tears his eyes out. And they drag his dad away screaming. And that's the end of the short story.
Stephen King, ladies and gentlemen.
Fucking Stephen King, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sitting there reading like, wow, this is interesting. Because it's like, they're breaking down how the scientists figured out teleportation. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Yeah, wow, that's interesting.
And that's how it gets you. Oh, this is and that's what happened to me. Oh, this is an interesting premise. That's how he does you. That's how Stephen King do you. He do people crazy. Oh, this is a good idea, right? This sounds interesting, right? Let's keep going. Horror,
terror, and horror. All right. Well, I have a review myself of something that is not so terror and horror oriented. Roboforce.
What's that?
Roboforce is a reboot, reimagining. Not sure what you want to actually call it. Since they never, I don't, as far as I know, Roboforce never had a cartoon back in the day. But anyway, back in the day, in the early 80s, there was Transformers, and then there was a lot of biters. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
Was this a bootleg Transformers?
There's a lot of people trying to live off the fame of Transformers. Is all I'll say.
Oh, this shit on Tubi?
Yes.
And this bootleg. Okay.
Wow. And there was, GoBots who are known as the pure on Transformers biters. Like, when mom said you had Transformers at home, she meant you had GoBots. Like, it was not a good look.
That's the dollar store bots.
It was GoBots.
You couldn't afford Toys R Us, Transformers, so you went to the Dollar Tree and got GoBots.
I remember when I got a GoBot, I was so hurt. It was so bad. And their cartoon was weak. It was, everything about it was terrible. Like, Transformers isn't the best of high entertainment, but GoBots was ass. And then there was,
it's still on brand versus off brand.
Yeah, and then there was Roboforce, which they don't even really transform, so they weren't even that. But robots. So everybody was trying to get a piece of the pie, and whatever company had Roboforce had these toys. They were like little clunky robots with rubbery arms or whatever. They couldn't do much. I had a couple of them as a kid, but they were ass. I can't lie. There was nothing about Roboforce that made you want to buy more than one of them hoes. So that never really went anywhere. But in 2025, Roboforce has a new series that's out on Tubi. We got sent preview copies of it, so I peeped it. It's all out now. It dropped in April, actually. I can't say I was blown away by Roboforce or anything, or that I was like, wow, this is, more than I expected. It was about what I expected, for Roboforce. Like, it was a very kid-oriented cartoon. I'll say that. The couple things that I really did enjoy about it is that it has a lead character, Soraya Avaram, who is a, young East Indian woman, child, like, 10, 11, I guess. And she basically leads the Roboforce. She puts them back together. That's in the future where the robots are plenty. And the Roboforce are, of course, the line that, has been abandoned and nobody messes with anymore. Basically a callback to, the old Roboforce of the 1980s. Like, these are the old 80s toys that nobody plays with anymore. She puts them back together and they go on wacky adventures, as you would say. It's a series, so, it's going to be wacky adventures. The one thing that I did enjoy beyond, having a person of color, a young woman person of color doing STEM stuff, which was really dope, is that the series does take some twists and turns. There's like some friends who become foes and foes who become friends and all that type of thing.
Okay.
And they're trying to tie it into a larger universe. There's a couple of other, they have a bootleg Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that they tie it into from the 80s. Something about these mice. I can't remember what it is because I never paid attention to that. But it's another, bootleg. So they got a couple of bootleg properties that they're building their own bootleg universe.
And I see that this is executive produced by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, damn. I didn't know
his
that.
ex, Danny Garcia, and then Brian Volk-Weiss. Brian is a producer. He's produced a lot of shit, actually. Including some shit with Kevin Hart and all that. Even though I was clowning Tubi, not for nothing, Tubi is actually doing a thing a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, you can't really hate on Tubi anymore.
Well, yes, I can, but you can always hate on Tubi. But what I'm saying is that they do have some good stuff in the mix. Like, I want to start watching Damascus, which is
that's my people show.
The black sci-fi show. I call it black sci-fi show, but it's about a black man, like, he experiments with immersion therapy that sends him into alternate timelines of his own life. And it has an incredible cast too. So I'm just like, oh shit, I kind of want to see it. Like, it stars Janet Hubert, Black on Viv, Shakira Janai Pay, Martin Lawrence, and then the main character, I don't want to mispronounce his name, but about Okiriti. I hope that's how I pronounce his name. Okerete. Yeah, this is a great cast, actually. And I just heard that, like I said, it's on Tubi, so people may not give it a chance. Like, I've never really been on Tubi like that besides seeing the clips, but people say that this is really good.
No, and shout out to my brother Kirk Wrights. That's one of my black men writers from Hollywood. He executive produced that show. And
Mm.
why it's so good is because it was actually on another network. I want to say it was an AMC show, and they produced it, did everything with it. Because I remember when he was first getting it together, he was telling me about some people they were trying to get cast on it. Thank God they're not. And it I don't know why AMC abandoned it, but I think they produced and created the whole show, and then was like, nah, we're not gonna put this on. So it got picked up by Tubi. So, and
Hmm.
as he said, he had some really good people behind him who kept fighting for it to make sure that it found a new home. So yeah, y'all go check out The Mastress on
Good.
Tubi.
Yeah, so if
And
Tubi ends up being a place where it saves, like, especially like independently, written or produced things, like I'm all for it because that tends to be the good stuff
yeah,
that you really, won't be able to see on other places. So again, I won't put too much on Tubi if they keep going in this direction.
no, and like I say, if for kids and for people, of my generation and a little bit younger who have kids now, this is something that might be worth checking out. I would definitely check out Robo Force
Robo
because
Force, okay.
yeah, because like I say, it features a POC woman as the lead, which girl as the lead, which is really dope. You know what I mean? I really like to see that, and the fact that she's involved in STEM, she's the smartest character on the show, all that type of thing is dope. And to give you that nostalgia vibes, it's very simple animation, etc. It feels like an 80s, early 90s, animated cartoon show that has been rebooted for now. So if you've got nothing else and you're looking for a kids show, something to occupy their time, definitely check out Roboforce.
Okay. One other thing that I would recommend, I love documentaries. I'm a big documentary buff. I love and I love all types of documentaries, like from the one-on-one interview type styles into the ones that are like the large, sweeping ones. Like I
Mm-hmm.
watched, I don't know if you watched, and it was hard to watch just remembering that because I was in school when it was happening, but the Katrina documentary that's
Yeah,
on
no, I
Hulu,
haven't because that's I knew
it's
people who died in Katrina.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
it was I was like my girl at the time, her grandmother was no, not her grandmother, but her best friend's grandmother was her house was underwater in the ninth ward.
yeah,
Like
that
they
and
were in there.
yeah, and like my class was like that first class
Mm-hmm.
that we did alternative spring break where we actually went to New Orleans to help with the cleanup efforts. It was like
Oh
6 months
wow.
or so after. So
Yeah.
so I did watch the Hulu and this is interesting. This keeps happening with Hulu and Netflix. And yes, it's the 20th anniversary, but like
Mm.
um Netflix has the Katrina what's it called? Hurricane Katrina race. Excuse me, Hulu has Hurricane Katrina Race Against Time. That's the one I watched, which just really again just shows the level of incompetency and racism and everything else that had really signified all of the what went wrong with Hurricane Katrina, amongst other things. And
Mm.
then what I haven't watched yet is the Netflix version of theirs. It's called Katrina Come Hell and High Water. And
Oh
interestingly,
wow.
a lot of people who are in the Hulu one actually show up in the Netflix one as the people that get interviewed and things like that, including like the key players, like the police chief at the time and some other people. Um, Again, this is one of those things where this is trigger warning, right? Like if you're able to like for me, I have big triggers when it comes to 9/11 stuff. Being from New York,
Mm.
being around when that happened, it's a lot, right? I can't really
Yeah.
watch that stuff. If this is a trigger for you when it comes to Katrina, that's a warning for you. But otherwise, like, justice, it needs to be taught, especially to the new gen that hasn't don't
Mm-hmm.
they just know it by name or they know it by the memes. The whole George Bush don't care about black people, but it was obviously way more than that.
Yeah.
And I would definitely recommend it. The Netflix series, excuse me, the Hulu series, and I'm gonna start watching the Netflix series. We'll see how that goes and the differences between there. And then the other thing that I wanted to recommend that I actually just watched recently is the Anti-Social Network. It actually came out in 2024, another documentary, and it basically, to boil it down, shows the linkage between 4chan and the MAGA movement as you see it
Oh
today.
wow. Yeah, I already know.
And when you like the way it connected the dots and the way that the people who were involved in the creation and growth of
Yeah.
4chan, like those are the people who do the primary like first person interviews in it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start making the links to all of the ways that all the different like major social things that's happened in this country in the last 15, 20 years, right? Like Occupy Wall Street. When it comes to like those man against the machine type things. Occupy
Mm-hmm.
Wall Street, Anonymous, the Tea Party, MAGA, all this other stuff. Like when you see the linkage between that and how, again, how dangerous things have become with so many things happening on the internet spilling over to the real world, and how people get, and it essentially is also a precursor to show how people get red pilled. Again, those like the people who they typically go to, young men who are lonely or feel slighted, and this, and that. And now you have this community of, quote, like-minded people who get you into conspiracy theories and get you into misogyny and all this other stuff, right? And this documentary actually goes into all of that, and like it really draws the lines very cleanly, and you're like, oh shit, that's where these people are coming from. And all those, not this, damn near all of those 4chan people are now grown-ass MAGA people. That's what I got from it, besides other things. But that was kind of the main point I got. But it's, again, very interesting just how that works. Another thing that I got out of it was just like, damn, white people. Wow. You guys really outdo yourselves every decade. Every decade.
Every decade.
I'm
they work
like,
hard at this shit.
Because there was no black people that I saw. Not to say there aren't, because we've seen some wayward black folks as part of the
we know some
MAGA movement. We know some, but it's just the vast majority are palm colored. So okay. So yeah.
Look, them crackers. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta call it how you see it.
You're not wrong, Benhameen. So yeah, so the Antisocial Network, the 2 Katrina documentaries Benhameen mentioned, not Robotech, but Roboforce.
Yes. Big shout out to Roboforce, not Robotech, because I'd be hyped right now.
The Long Walk. Again, I recommend it, but be careful. But these are all kind of recommended items.
Yeah. And also Creature Commandos, because people have been asking me about that. And I'm loving it. I got 2 more episodes. I'm really tight that it was only 7 episodes on the set.
I don't know if I watch it because that's not really I'm not really into that.
Yep.
But
I'm telling you, I felt the same way. That's why I didn't, because it was funny. Like I watched the first episode because when you go back to watch something, it's like, oh, I'm already on the second, and I didn't remember the first at all. But I was like, fuck it, I'm already on the second. I'm going to the second. I'm not going back. You know what I mean?
You didn't remember the first? It's
no,
like, what was you doing?
Ignoring it. You know what I mean? Probably working on beats. That's what will usually happen. I'll start watching something and I'll start working on music, and it's just like it'll become background noise. So yeah, I did not remember the first episode, but by the end of the second, I was like, damn, I kind of need to go back and watch the first. I really enjoyed it. Like it's James Gunn. That's the thing. And he knows how to tell a story. He knows how to pull heartstrings. There's one episode with the Weasel from Suicide Squad. If you saw the one with Idris Elba. Well, the Weasel is a character who did not talk. I did see that. So you know the Weasel man. Yeah. That episode that centers on the Weasel is one of the most heart-pulling, like fucked up. At the end, I'm sitting there like, damn, that's fucked up what they did to that dog. You know what I mean? It is like that. Like he knows how to do it. This is pure James Gunn. This is like, Guardians of the Galaxy punching you in the chest type James Gunn. So if you like that shit, I would definitely check it out.
Mary Poppins, I know.
Yeah, yes. This is that. I'm fucking Mary Poppins. Every damn episode.
I'm your daddy.
Yeah, the Bride of Frankenstein episode was like that. The Weasel episode was like that. G.I. Robots, whatever. I think I'm on the dude who's like a flaming skull. I don't know his name, but yeah, the Bride episode and the running story of the Bride and the real Frankenstein. I can't wait to see how that ends, because that shit is wild. And they got, like I said, 2 more episodes. But we do have, some other things, some guac coming in. Some frequently asked questions.
Yes, please make sure you guys, every week we want your questions. Keep them coming. It could be about anything. It could be about the things we've just talked about. It could be about the clips you see from our socials. It could be a question from your own life that you want us to answer. Like whatever it is, definitely hit us up. We're going to be putting posts up every week where you can ask your questions, or you can email us if you want a little bit more privacy. I mean, even though we're about to read it out loud on our podcast, but you can also email us, contact at ForAllNerds.com.
Yeah, if you just want us to answer a question and you don't want it on the show, hit us up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you got something really personal,
and tell us that, like, hey, I don't want y'all to talk about this, but I do want y'all opinion.
Yes.
Let us know. But otherwise, yeah, just put it on the socials. Like, again, you'll have spaces we'll put on TikTok, IG, probably Twitter.
You'll definitely be seeing these a lot more. We're gonna make sure we start flooding, these socials. First up, what we got?
So the first comes on our very own engineer extraordinaire, Luna. Luna writes, Ben spoke before about the DCU having tonal differences when it comes to Superman Peacemaker. I agree and think that's going to be a strong point for the films and shows moving forward. My question is, what kind of tone would you like to see for the upcoming Green Lantern series on HBO?
That is a great question, Luna. And it's funny because somebody made this point on a comment section a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, and it really made me hype for the show because it's not called Green Lanterns. The show is called Lanterns.
Lanterns. Yeah.
And that when somebody made that point, I'm like, oh. And then there's a video of Nathan Fillion, right? Because he plays
Nate Fillion.
Yeah, he's playing Hal Jordan. And
he's got Nate Fillion is still Guy Gardner.
Oh no, Nate Fillion's Guy Gardner. Who's playing Hal Jordan in Lanterns?
Hal Jordan is Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler, yeah, the other. He's a great actor.
And my fave, Aaron Pierre. That's
Aaron,
he's John Stewart.
Yep. Yeah, he's John Stewart. And so again, it's Lanterns, right? And you have Kyle Chandler, who's an older actor, and Aaron Pierre, new hotness. So it's probably, Hal Jordan. Now, Hal Jordan does a lot of different things in the comics, so we'll see how it goes. But back to the name Lanterns and Kyle Chandler, there's a video of him talking, or it might have been Nathan Fillion. I think it was Nathan, Nathan is also in it.
And there's a video, and he's in Superman.
Yep. And there's a video of Nathan talking about all the different colors of the lanterns and naming them and being like, okay, orange is about greed. Blue is about hope. This is about that, and knowing all about it. So just the fact that, he's a geek, but we also know Gunn is a geek. We know everyone involved in this is a geek. They're going to pull on the lore. So I think we're going to see a lot of different shades of lanterns instead of just green. But as far as tone, I've heard stories of a lot of people talk about like True Detective. That's one of the references that they've been given for this, which I don't know. True Detective might be a little too dark for what I want to see from Lanterns.
Yeah. I want to see, if you think about Superman, right? Minus the scenes with Supes where, again, it was more lighthearted and goofy. When it was just centered on the Justice Gang or whatever they're called, like that tone where it was just like, it was adult, but there were some funny shit happening, but not like goofy funny. It was just like smart humor and sharp, like kind of that sharp comedy that's smart. There's action and maybe a little bit of drama. I would like that probably to be the tone of this. And again, because it's about the Lantern Corps, so there's a lot of different people and different personalities. And also, like, I can't see Nate's how like being watered down from what you saw in Superman. So I like, and what he was in Superman is the nigga just like was cracking on everybody. So I couldn't see them like stopping that from happening again. So I don't know.
But see, I think it should be a thing, and I think this
Guy
is
Gardner
what
in the house. Sorry,
Guy Gardner. And I think this is what Gunn, the balancing act. I think this is going to be like how when you saw in She-Hulk, when we saw Daredevil show up in She-Hulk, where She-Hulk was a completely different series than what, the Daredevil series.
Yeah.
And he reacted and acted in that way. It worked. He worked in that way. And I think that's how it should be. Like Guy Gardner should be, I think, not toned down, but I think when he encounters it, because if they do, and I think they are, because you remember it should be an hour-long series on HBO Max. So I don't think they're going to go for like the comedy, even like the version of, I think they're gonna it should be tonally different than what we saw from even the Justice Gang. I think it should be, because it's gonna be on Earth from a lot of it. I don't think they're gonna get into space, maybe like parts of it. But the first shot that they released is of Hal and John walking down a road. And the thing
true, yeah. I just don't want it to be too almost street level, because I'm like, yeah,
I don't think so, because Earth, you have these rings.
And that's my point. You still got these fucking rings, and I don't want it to be fucking Hot Wheels car track like, Ryan Reynolds, but I also don't want it to be like a procedural drama with lanterns. Like, I don't know if that would work either.
Well, we'll see. But I do say one of my favorite Green Lantern series from back on the day was when he wasn't in the Corps at the time, and Hal was just like riding across America on a bike. Now
and this is like the lead up to him joining the Corps. Is he already?
No, he got kicked out of the Corps at this point. I think the Corps had been dissolved, one or the other. So he was just like on Earth, and he had the ring, but he was just driving around. He didn't really wear the suit. He didn't want people to know he's Green Lantern, but he ended up doing stuff with. But it was a really dope series. I really love that series. I think that was the first Green Lantern series that I read, so it has that nostalgia thing too. But it was just really nice, and he did use the ring a lot. So I think that should be the type of thing where you won't always see them in the suits, but you'll see them using the rings when they need to.
As long as I see the rings being used, I'm with it.
Oh yeah,
I'm with it.
You're gonna have to.
It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's gonna be great.
Yeah, like, I really do.
I have the faith.
After, like I say, after really examining what they did with Superman, with Peacemaker, and with Creature Commandos, it's just like, nah, man. It hurts because I want to be this excited for like the X-Men coming to the MCU. Because this is the type of shit that the X-Men should bring to the MCU.
I'm not though.
Like, I know, and I'm not.
Go back to X-Men 97, but
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like X-Men right now. They should be like, okay, we have a X-Men movie coming out, and then we've got a fucking Rogue TV series, or a Krakoa TV series, and then we've got a New Mutants TV series, and that's how it should be with X-Men right now. But they're not doing that. They're just like, we got one movie and it's directed by this dude who did some bullshit. I'm sorry, it's directed by this white guy who's done a bunch of average stuff.
And I can't trust that. So
I can't trust that. It's just, while like over here, it's like James Gunn's like, oh, well, I got this director, and he brought me a version, because he said that he wasn't even thinking about doing a Clayface movie until the director was like, yo, I have this idea in this script. Check this out. And he was like, yo, this is so ill. We got to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think Clayface would be the first person you go to, but
and and he's like, but it was an ill body horror type thing where it's like, exploring what it means to be Clayface. Right. And I'm like, that's dope, and I want to see that. And then it has nothing to do with Superman, but that's fire. I don't need it, and that's one problem at Marvel, because of the whole Infinity Saga. They like, now everything must link into a big, and we were talking about Doomsday, and it's like, that's why I'm not excited for Doomsday. Like, I don't know that there's going to be some big dark side, villain in DC, and I don't care. I just want to see dope movies, and that's what's happening right now, and dope shows, and it's like, I think Marvel needs to get back to that, and I think that would be their route with X-Men, because it's like X-Men doesn't need a big movie; it just needs, you can do a Game of Thrones series with X-Men, but God damn it. It's like, it's right there.
I sound like this is literally the inverse of what it was again 10 15 years ago, where I'm just like, oh my God, the DC is pissing me off. Why are they doing this? It's literally the inverse now. It's been flipped. It's so interesting.
It is. And now it's like, I see, because I'm a peripheral DC fan, but I was a dude, like, Marvel used to have a book, Marvel Universe, where they had like catalog of characters, and DC had DC's Who's Who. And I would read both of those, and especially I would read Who's Who because I didn't know most of those characters. So I have like this encyclopedic knowledge of just, facts about DC characters and random DC characters. I might have never read a comic book with them, but I know all these. And because of that, I'm really excited, because it's like, I know how wild and weird and interesting all these DC characters are. And because it's not the X-Men and stuff, it's stuff we haven't really seen that much. Like the New Gods, who I know Ava DuVernay was trying to do something with a few years ago, but the New Gods are really dope characters. It's so many. I mean, Metamorpho was one of those characters where I was like, yo, that's a really ill character. And now he's been on screen. And the Supergirl, like that Supergirl graphic novel, I'll tell everyone, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, I think it is, by Tom King. It is what the new book is based on. Go check it out, y'all. Like, go pick it up. They put it back in print. It is incredible, and it will get you so hyped for this movie. Yeah,
it's the God Tom King. So I'm
the God. Yep.
Yeah. The last question comes from J.A. or J. Sorry if I mispronounced. J_A, or is it just J?
Yeah, it might be either one.
They write, I watched the last episode, so I know genre is not really real. But what is y'all's favorite era and genre of music? Mine is 90s dancehall.
Always a classic. 90s and early 2000s to mid 2000s, there was a lot of crack cocaine in those producer studios in Jamaica, because those rhythms are eternal, boy. Like, those are some of the greatest beats ever committed to wax. Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite genre because I really like
Yeah.
music across the spectrum of sound, right?
Same.
I love rap hip hop. I love R&B. I love EDM. I love
Mm-hmm.
could be drum and bass. Like the subcategories of the genres, right? Instrumentals. Like I like and appreciate all of these different things. I can't say favorite era per se, but I could say era that stirs the most nostalgia, and that would be like the 2000s, the crunk era, because that was when I was coming up in school, and that was the formidable time of who I always say, we always make a joke about like people my age, like where we were the original YNs, like we was the ones going to the clubs, tearing it up, listen to Bone Crusher and all this other stuff, like that was my time. So, and just in terms of that idea, I would just say that era because it was just like people was dancing in the clubs. Okay, we was wearing business casual, sweating that shit out. Right? We was living, and not to say that that's not happening now, because like there is a resurgence of that energy about like actually having fun with other people, dancing with other people, just being alive versus staring at each other. That's resurging, but again, just as far as the thing that probably just stokes the most great memories was probably that crunk era. But I really appreciate like their entire thing. Especially stuff now. Like I really like the new kids now. So
Yeah, I'm the
yeah,
same way. I'm one, and as a DJ, because I've been DJing through all these eras, like it's like I love that era you were talking about because that's like when you talk about nostalgia, that brings me back to Love and Dream Nightclub, and it's like those were some of my formative years as a DJ and just some of the greatest times of my life for that matter.
yeah.
So,
I mean, like seeing like people don't know what that like a lot of the Gen Z, they be like, what was it like in the club in 2000? And I wasn't yet in the clubs, but
yeah, well,
when by the
you
time I
have
got to
no idea.
Howard and I was in the clubs, because by the time I got to Howard and I was in the clubs, the crunk era was like cooling off a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was still fairly strong. And
Mm-hmm.
to see one song shift the entire crowded ass club where it could be elbows getting thrown. You understand? Like to see the power of the song in motion in bodies on the floor. And whether that was, you talk about back that ass up, or you're talking about, again, I mentioned like fucking 3-6 Mafia, 8 Ball and MJG type shit. Like
And,
going
yeah,
crazy.
and that was a great era. But see, it's like I think about like how people like when like I actually got people mad at me today because I posted a video of me playing Can We Talk and was like, yo, shut up about stop playing Tevin Campbell's Can We Talk.
Yeah, I
It
saw
works
that.
every time.
No, that's a hood classic. That's
Yeah,
a
but
that's a African American classic.
but
Why would
what
we
I
stop playing?
to that point, I was saying it would be so hard for people to like when you ask about what it was like in the club. People don't understand how it was when let's say the Benjamins was out, or when In the
Yeah,
Club
that's
was
strong.
out, or when Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See was out. Like I literally was in a club at one point and saw DJ SNS play Benjamins about 20 times in a row. And it never lost a moment. Like and then
The crowd still popped for it.
when he stopped playing it, I swear to God, true story, I turned to my boy, I was like, yo, this ain't gonna be good. And a fight broke out.
And that's what I'm saying. Like to
like to
see
see a song be played 20 times in a row
and it
and
still have the same effect. To see people go feral over certain
yeah.
songs was incredible to watch. Which is, again, that's why I like that era. And I guess maybe that is going to end up being my favorite. But like that time was
I mean,
insane.
my anytime before people had phones was really, because it was just a different thing in clubs
Well,
then.
the
Yeah.
phones the way they are now, because I had a phone, but
Yeah, no,
it
the
wasn't
way they
like
are
how it was
now.
now.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I remember when like this is inauguration. I shot the video. It's famous footage of Jeezy and Jay-Z performing My President is Black.
Mm-hmm.
And I shot that footage. If you ever Google it and see it, that was me shooting that footage. It's the camera shot from behind them up above. And it was just the fact that back then, even if you had a phone, it didn't have a fucking camera on it like that. And I actually had a real camera. So, and I was one of the few people in the club that night who had a real camera. And
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, every motherfucker in the world would have the
Yeah.
camera. So
Or
nobody
if you
would,
did have
yeah.
a camera, it was that 2 megapixel shit that you couldn't do
Yeah,
nothing
no,
with.
it couldn't do nothing with it. And I had a real handheld VHS-C, I think, joint with, cartridges and tapes. And so that shit shot that footage, and that, that's why I have it. But that's what I'm saying. That type of era, it was like all the way up to like, I remember that Homecoming when We Fly High came out. Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah. That like
Oh,
Dipset, that whole era.
like,
I'm being from New York. That's my like again,
yeah,
when I talk about going feral when you hear certain
yeah.
songs to this day.
No,
To
like I
this
was at
day.
Howard when Cam got shot. You know what I mean? Like
You told
that's
me the story. Yeah.
yeah, like that, like yeah. I'm like, I just saw Tyler this summer. I thought he was fucking incredible.
Tyler, I go crazy off of his
Yeah,
shit.
I think he's one of my favorite artists ever. And so it's like genre, etc. Like you said, I'm a music, so it's like I can never choose a genre. Like,
Yeah.
what was that last year? I think last year I got addicted to John Coltrane, and I never, and not even Coltrane, Thelonious Monk even more, and I never really paid that much attention to Thelonious like that. And I was reading books on the man. That's how much I was listening to his shit, because it was just, I was just like, oh my God, my eyes were just open. And then at the same time, I got really into Brazilian funk, like modern Brazilian funk, like
Yes,
the
yes.
really straight up hard beats and remixes and shit. So
Was
I got
listening to a lot of that when we were in Brazil this summer.
yeah, yep. So I got into that. And so it's like I'm always listening to different shit. I heard about some new stuff that's coming out of like South Africa. I got to find out, like, that's after Amapiano. I got to find out about that. Or it's not even South Africa.
The
That's where
next step after Amapiano?
Well, no, it's like Amapiano is still South Africa. It's like another region of Africa that's doing their own, joint that I gotta get up on.
Fuck with Amapiano heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
heavy,
definitely.
heavy. And again, just to give you guys like context and what I mean, like I say, I like everything. Like, went to the Cowboy Carter concert, went to the Tyler concert, going to the K-Tronada Justice concert, going to see Erykah Badu. Like, I'm all over the map when it comes to music. I'm a purveyor and lover of music and good music that hits you and has rhythm and life. Like, that's the shit that I like. The genre I like, music.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said on the show, it's one of my I'm an anti-idea genre. I feel like genre is mainly rooted in racism and separatism, and it's two of the things that I cannot stand. And so that's why I like, because all music is Black music, especially all American music is pretty much all major popular American music is Black music. And Black people pretty much just make blues music with different changes in technology, etc. And genre, as most like artists say, like Miles Davis says, I don't make jazz, I make pop music because it's very popular music, is what he would say. Michael Jackson said the same thing. And he's like, don't separate me by putting me into these categories that you reserve for urban artists. But that's all it really is. Yeah. Jazz is always like, these niggas are making jazz.
Urban,
hip hop. Yeah, and so it's like, no, nigga, we are making music. Yeah. And we're making the most popular music, and we're making the backbone of American music. So
yeah,
I'm never a person, I'm always into exploring. The Buddy Guy, for everybody who saw Sinners, that nigga dropped a new album. It's fire, fam. That shit is fucking slam. And I was jamming that shit a few weeks ago when it dropped. That shit is fire. And Juicy J's fucking jazz album is a hit.
Oh yeah, is it actually good?
What, nigga? Taking My Kids to School? That shit is a jam. That's one of the joints on there. Taking My Kids to School. It is a full-blown funky ass jazz album. Like, it is, yeah.
Because I'm interested in watching like all of like these, in my view, old school rappers coming with to a new quote genre.
That shit was mind blowing.
I tried Andre's 3000 Flute album and I wasn't really. I tried, y'all, and like I'm very open minded. Very open minded, and it didn't do it for me. So I'm that's why I was like, I was a little nervous about Juicy J's, but you're saying it's good.
No, that shit is jamming. Okay. Taking My Kids to School is a jam. There's a couple on there that are like, and they're just straight instrumental. He raps on a couple. Black Thought raps on one, but a lot of it's instrumental. Like I said, Taking My Kids to School, that's my jam. You know what I mean? That is a jam where I'm like, okay. But, it's like, that thing, people underestimate how talented a lot of these people are. Like Juicy J, like I always talk about Shot G, it's just one of the most genius hip hop producers. and also played mad instruments. You know, Flavor Flav, who people think of as this clown, is a classically trained pianist, can pick up pretty much
Yeah,
any instrument you
I've
can
seen him play the
name.
piano. It's kind of
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, he can pick up any instrument you can name and play it pretty well. You know, it's so many people like that. DJ Quick is an absolute genius, you know, instrumentalist, all this stuff. DJ Quick has been having instrumental jams on every one of his albums going back to the very first one. And they're always like bangers. So it's like people don't realize how talented, and that's the thing, because they get put in these boxes. Starface for years wanted to do a rock and rap and funk album because he plays guitar, he plays bass and all that type of shit. But he was always like, people wouldn't accept it. You know, they won't let me do anything but rap albums. And that was always a big problem. So, like you said, it's really great that now people like Juicy J, I heard Boosie got a country album or a blues album, and they say it's pretty good. I know, I was same thing. But my man's like Juicy J's last 4 projects have all been fire, and they're all different. Like, because he did the jazz, and then earlier this year he dropped like a classic Juicy J album. But then like last year or 2 years ago, he dropped like a real hip hop Juicy J album, you know, like very different than his normal stuff. So he's been doing all kind of stuff. So it's really dope to see.
Yeah, I like when artists do that. And like he's more of a new artist, but Big X the Plug, like his new album is essentially a country album. He's rapping, but it's all country.
I gotta check that.
Every song.
Yeah, I heard.
He has crazy features on it. So great album. I know like we're like all off topic now, but like also Tiana Taylor's album, Jesus. It is so good. Jesus is so good. Like, I'm so happy that she was able to come back to music because, you know, she famously, you know, retired from it a few years ago because of the industry and all the other stuff. But man, nah.
All right, I'm gonna definitely peep that then.
Nah, like, oh man.
Earl Sweatshirt's new one was not hitting me like that. I tried. I tried, y'all.
Oh, really?
I mean, that nigga just be rapping, you know, just be like blah 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 blah, and the beats were just like not there. Yeah. I heard Chance is good, but
I haven't listened to Chance yet.
I don't like the singles, but I heard the album is good. But like that weed song is cool, and the other one was cool. But the people are like, no, this, and I'm a, you know, coloring book, acid rap, those are my jams. So I want to give it a chance, yeah, because I've heard, but yeah, I didn't like the singles. It was like whatever.
One more thing you wanted to mention. About your new show with BJ Kicks.
Oh, yeah. We're dropping a new episode next week. Thank you to everybody who peeped the first episode. We're basically doing me and BJ Kicks, who is the founder, owner, creator, content creator over at Comics Are Dope. If you're not following them on YouTube, head over to their page and make sure you hit that subscribe. BJ does a lot of great work reviewing comics all the time. And so BJ and I teamed up. It's Ben and BJ. We still have not figured out a name or other. Comics Are Dope. What is it? Comics I Copped Are Dope? Something. I don't know. It's basically a collaboration where Comics I Copped and Comics Are Dope, where every month we're coming together and talk about all of our favorite comics from that month. And we dropped
Dope Comics I Copped.
Yeah, something like, I think that's what he said. Yeah, Dope Comics I Copped. So
that's a merger.
Yeah, so we'll figure out a name, but every month we're dropping an episode. We dropped one, what is it? And we dropped our favorites of July, and we're a little behind this month, but early September we'll be dropping our favorites of August. A lot of good stuff came out in August. I was really hyped. I can't wait to record this because I really want to talk about it. No secret surprises on what's coming, but yeah, definitely got some more things coming on that.
Cool.
And I want to do a quick announcement because I'm going to drop a video on this, but it is September 3rd today. And well, one, happy birthday to my niece, Nuari. Love you very much. You know, I love you, Nunu. And then also a week or so ago, it has been 1 year since the release of Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze.
Yay! Eisner nominated.
The Eisner nominated.
Second print edition.
Can I turn my camera over to the real quick? Can you see that? Oh, look at that.
Congrats, Ben.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. So yeah. Thank you to everybody. It's been really amazing. I'm about to drop a video on the socials talking about it. It's been an amazing journey. I know it's still going on, but just really thank you to everyone who has supported this book in any way, shape, form. I got to give a copy to Juno Diaz last night, so that was a big moment for me. Look at Tatiana with double fist in that hoe. Beautiful.
Yes.
Oh man, it's still very surreal. Honestly, to this day, it is so surreal.
I want to say I'm really glad you said that because, guys, this is your opportunity. We always keep saying we want to be on other people's shows. We want to guest on your shows. This is an opportunity to interview Ben and find out how does he feel about it being 1 year. At least today is 1 year to the day. But it's been 1 year, and how does he feel? What has changed? I'm not going to give y'all the interview questions. Y'all can figure that out. But I think this would be a prime opportunity. Again, hit us up, contact@ForAllNerds.com, or you can send us a DM. We want to be on your shows, whether together, individually, whatever projects either of us have going on. If you want to talk to both of us at the same time, whatever, we are willing to be guests on the show as well. So please hit us up.
Yep. And on that note, the other night, I actually put together a rough draft of an outline for the first issue of what would be a sequel to Hendrix. So, yeah. And
you and Mello back at it again?
Well, I actually wrote this one. I put together this outline on my own because it might not end up being an official sequel to Hendrix. We'll see, Titan Publishing wants to get it together, but if not, it'll be it'll be something.
A side quest.
Yeah, it'll be a side quest, Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And it'll feature some characters from Hendrix. So, that's all I can say so far. But yeah, it's
spinoff.
A spinoff, yes.
Look at you building a universe.
A quasi-legal spinoff.
Hey, what's up, internets and the fam? This is Tatiana King for ForAllNerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching the ForAllNerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.
ForAllNerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
ForAllNerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForAllNerds.